Hi, this is Tyler Berkey with Group 76, CS6310, Spring 2022, assignment number 5. In this video, I will be demonstrating our implementation of the Scalability Architectural Initiative. For this initiative, we decided to take 3 major approaches. The first being converting the application to a RESTful API. With this conversion, we would be able to deploy the application to the web and allow users from all over the world to interact with it. The second thing we did was implement a reverse proxy server that could load balance traffic to our API to different nodes. In our case, we used Nginx to do that. Currently, we have 5 instances of the application running within the Docker container. This would help us if we see a sudden influx of traffic. The reverse proxy server would redirect some of that traffic to nodes that are experiencing less traffic at that given time. This would also allow us to take down a node for maintenance, or in the case where a node might fail, redirect traffic to a working node. The last thing that we implemented was a single data repository that all of the instances could communicate with. We used MongoDB for that, and that would allow us to persist our data. In assignment 3, the data was in memory, and as soon as the application ceased execution, that data would go away. And having a single instance of the MongoDB database will also keep the data consistent amongst all the different instances of our application that are running. So the first thing here that I'll show you is demonstrate the load balancer. And what I'm going to do is quickly run through a list of all of these different requests that I've built out in Postman, things to create users, create stores, create orders, all of that sort of thing. And you'll see over here, you see we have different instances of our API service running. As I run this, because it's going in such quick succession, the load balancer will decide to push certain requests to different instances of the application. So if I go ahead and I run this now, you'll see here we've got some API service 2, some API service 4, 3, 1. So as these requests are coming in concurrently, the load balancer is receiving them and pushing them to different nodes in order to keep traffic even across all of the instances of our application that are running. If we take a look at the results of the runs that we got, you'll see we have a lot of 200 OKs here. That means that the request was handled appropriately. No errors were encountered. We have a 400 bad request in here. And in this case, we were trying to assign a pilot to a drone, but we did not have the correct identifier for that pilot. So we received a 400 bad request, and I'll go into detail on that in just a second. So if I go back now to Postman, we take a closer look at some of these requests that were made. This pilot has already been created, so you'll see if I go ahead and send this now, I will receive that 400 bad request response, along with the error message that is the error message that we were printing to the console in assignment 3 that will be returned from the API to let the user of the API know that they cannot create the pilot that already exists. I can come in here and I can take a look at the stores that were created. So you'll see I have Publix, Costco, and Whole Foods here. I can list the items for sale at Publix and Costco and the like. Pilots. I can assign pilots to drones, and you'll see here this is the 400 that came back in that test that we just ran. 400 bad requests. Pilot identifier does not exist because we have the incorrect identifier here. The correct identifier is Gerald.gibberish, and if I send that, you'll see I get the 200 OK response. Lastly, we'll go into our database here. And you'll see if I take a look at the stores that exist in our database, I have 3 documents, one for Publix, one for Costco, and one for Whole Foods. So our data is now persisted. It is that same instance of the data is accessible to all instances of the application and will allow us to scale that application in a very streamlined manner going forward. Thanks.